Hey there, guys and girls. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is John. I am Orphan Car Garage. We're located in the state of Massachusetts in the town of Abington. And Abington is about 30 minutes or so south of Boston. So today I'm going to feature for you a car from the 80s. One of my favorite decades of music, cars, and yeah, even clothing. This is a Nissan 300 ZX from the year 1986. So this car is the it's the third generation of the well-known Z car that started out as a Datsun way back in 1970, a Datsun 240 to be exact, evolved into the 260, then the 280 ZX, I think around 1980, and then in 1984, excuse me, I have to think back here, 1984, the 300 ZX was introduced, the car you see in front of us. And this is a generation that lasted from 1984 to 1989. And again, we have a 1986 edition here in front of us to offer you today at Orphan Car Garage. Obviously, the right color for this car. I called it Hot Red, I believe. Nissan called this Hot Red. We've got T-tops, we got a 5-speed transmission. It doesn't get a whole lot better than that when you're talking 1980s, but I don't want to get ahead of myself here. This car spent most of its life living in Tennessee with its original owner, and by that I mean it didn't come to New England. Its original owner didn't sell it until 2023. So this car has only been in New England for 2 years. And yes, it was sold new in Tennessee and resided in Tennessee until 2023 with its first owner. The Tennessee dealer tag is still on the back. We've got a super clean Carfax report that backs up the owner history on the car. There it is, Morristown Nissan in Tennessee. So there's a lot to like about this car. 1984 saw the addition of the V6 engine in these cars. So this car has a 3.0 liter V6. You could get a turbo or a naturally aspirated version. This is not the turbo. This is a naturally aspirated version of that 3.0 V6 engine, which I will be showing you shortly. This was actually the first V6 offered in the Z cars. And again, with the introduction of this generation in 1984. Now, if you follow these cars much at all, you'll know already that these Z cars are really coming on strong in the collector market as 1980s and 70s sports cars really come on strong with that new generation of collectors that I always talk about. People want to own what they remember. And these are the cars people of my age remember and probably wanted at one time, but couldn't afford it at such a young age. Now we're at a point in our lives, hopefully you are too, where you can afford the car of your dreams from the decade you remember the most. And I say it all the time, cars from the 1950s, the 40s, the 30s, they're getting harder and harder to sell because there's fewer and fewer people around that have an emotional attachment to those cars. This is the opposite. Sports cars from the 1980s are coming on very strong. Specifically, the ZX cars. The 280 ZXs right now are super, super hot. They're climbing in value. The 240s and 260s have been all along. The 300, like here in front of us, not so much yet, but you have to assume that it's the next generation that's going to rise. This is a generation that saw more refined features. The car was more user-friendly, more comfortable to drive, but still kept that sporty appearance. These cars are very, very nice cars on the road. And very easy to maintain. Obviously, it's a Japanese car. I don't get a lot of Japanese cars. I don't get a lot of foreign cars in here in general. I tend to gravitate towards American stuff, but obviously we had to make an exception with this iconic Nissan. And yes, 1984, although again, this is a 1986 model, 1984 was the first year that they started to transfer the Datsun name to the Nissan name. So I think it was a mid-year thing. If you see some 84s, might still say Datsun on them because that's the year they did the changeover to Nissan officially. And so by 1986, when this car was produced, it was a Nissan 300 ZX. Just about 79,000 miles on the odometer on this car. Obviously impeccably well cared for by its original owner. You'll notice it has painted bumpers. I believe 1986 was the first year for those painted bumpers. Prior to that, 84 and 85, this section here would have been a glossy black. So that's a good way to tell this is a 1986 or better or newer version of the Z. One thing I will tell you, these wheels by its most recent owner, its second owner, have been all professionally restored, and they came out beautifully. Now, I saw some pictures, I did some research on these cars before filming this video and doing my write-up, and it looks like to me these wheels are from 1985. The 1985 models that I saw listed online and factory photos and so forth had these wheels. The 1986 wheels looked a little different to me. Maybe you guys can help me out on that. Maybe it was a mid-year changeover. I happen to like these wheels better than what I saw on the 1986s online, and maybe the guy or girl that owned this car before us thought the same thing. So I actually don't see that as a deterrent if they are in fact 1985 wheels. I like them a lot. And again, a lot of expense was made having these wheels professionally restored. All those inserts have been repainted, nicely machined. They look like brand new. The tires also look like brand new. They have a date code on them from 2021. And judging by the Carfax report, they probably have about 10,000 miles on them. Extremely, extremely nice paint. I will tell you that when we received this car, for full disclosure, there was a dent in the fender right about here, about the size of a softball. So we decided to replace the fender rather than try to fix it. It took a long time, but we were able to find a clean, rust-free fender out of the southwestern part of the United States. We had the fender shipped here. We sent the car to our body shop, had them replace the fender, paint the whole nose of the vehicle, and blend the doors. And they did a fantastic job. Again, the Carfax report shows 0 accidents. It looked like an accident that probably happened in someone's garage. It was punched right there, about the size of a softball. Just wasn't worth fixing. Fixing it would have meant Bondo, a body filler at some point. We didn't want that. We didn't want any of that in this car. So that fender right there was just recently replaced. And to make everything right, we had the whole nose of the car painted and then blended into the doors. You will see no difference in the paint. Beautifully done, blends perfectly. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. But of course I'm going to tell you because that's what I do. It's full disclosure here at Oven Car Garage. Hideaway headlights, well, semi-hideaway headlights that work beautifully. Again, those wheels, nothing to speak of on the sides of the car as far as any chips or scratches. Those ground effects are in great condition. This car is a stunner. There's a spoiler here on the back that does have some minor scratching and chips on it. See if I can show you that. See that? Right in here. Couple little nicks. This is a gloss black spoiler. If that bothered you, that could be resprayed by itself. I chose to leave it alone, keep it original. There's some discoloration on the 3 wiper arms. The black is sort of wearing off. This is typical of any car this age. Again, that Morristown, Nissan, Tennessee dealer tag from when this car was purchased new. All original paint back here. All those lenses in great condition. Dual exhaust pipes coming out the left side. Same on the passenger side here. No scratches or dings. Very straight. Absolutely no rust. I mean, that goes without saying, having it spent most of its life in Tennessee. Pictures of the undercarriage are on my website, orphancargarage.com. The undercarriage of this car is just as clean as the top surfaces. Show you those wiper arms here so you see a little bit more where the black is sort of just worn away a little bit from the arms. I mean, I'm being fussy, but I want everybody to see. There again, those really cool wheels from maybe 1985. We don't quite know for sure. Irregardless, I like them. I love them. They scream 1980s. Get inside the car now. We'll show you the inside. We'll start her up. Actually, before we get inside, I'm going to pop the tailgate and show you the fun stuff that comes with the car. Tailgate has a fun release here. You pull for tailgate and push for gas door. tailgate works. The pistons hold up, which is unusual on any car of this age. Presumably they've been replaced at some point. So here you go in the trunk or the hatch. We have the original 300ZX floor mats. The tie downs there for the T-tops. Your jack and other accessories for jacking the car up to replace the tire. We've got the bags here to store the T-top panels in. Very clean underneath. Very, very clean. Then these are sunshades. They're marked left and right. These are sunshades for the T-tops if you don't want to bake in the sun with the T-top glass installed. I had never seen these before. I think they're great. They snap into place and they block the sun out of the T-tops when they're installed. Those are here. I imagine a lot of the times those are missing. So again, you've got factory floor mats are in great shape, the bag for the T-tops, and the sunshades for the T-tops. This is a two-seater vehicle. Close that for you. Instantly you hear that Nissan chime for the key being in the ignition. Very comfortable cockpit. This is where these 300s really shine. Lots of adjustments on the seats. And before I forget, we've got lumbar. It all operates except the lower one. I can hear the motor. I take that back. It does work. The lumbar works. Oh yeah, there's upper and lower lumbar, and it does inflate. It's simply a bag inside the seat that fills with air, and then turning the switch the other way, it releases the air. But they do work. Of course, a 5-speed manual transmission, which was almost a prerequisite in these cars. 79,142 on the mileage. That's original, backed up on that Carfax. We've got working factory AC. We've got working digital clock that I need to reset. We have a semi-working original stereo with cassette deck. The power antenna works. Well, I'll start the car up. Power antenna goes up with the switch, but we get no sound. All I get is static. You see the antenna went up back there. But all I get is static out of the stereo. So I've tried several different stations. It almost sounds like the antenna is not hooked up. Maybe it's not, but it's going up and down electrically, so I'm assuming it's all hooked up. But all I get is static out of that radio. However, the AC works beautifully. Instant cold air. That's a must on a day like today. It went from winter to summer here in New England. I think it's June 5th. It's about 90 degrees in the shade today. I think a week ago I was wearing sweatshirts and had the heat on. That's typical of New England. Everything works other than that radio. We've got gauges. We don't have digital. We've got analog gauges for your readouts, which I'm happy to see, because digital stuff from this generation just gets quirky and difficult to fix. Parts just aren't available to fix those old digital clusters anymore in many cars. So I'm actually pleased to see analog gauges. Plus, analog is more fun, I think. We've got lights. They pop up and they go down. There's pictures of that on the website as well. Let me just open the hood. We'll wrap this up for you. Beautiful interior, nice clean carpeting, obviously protected for years with those factory floor mats. Door panels, power windows go up and down, no problem. Little to no wear on the seats at all, with really cool two-tone charcoal and black. Even this bolster, there's no wear on this bolster, which is so common on any car with side bolsters where you get in and out. Just a real nice presentation. The console lid is a little on the loose side. You know, it's a little loosey-goosey, but certainly very presentable and does its job. So cool with the T-tops. Get under the hood now and wrap this up. That emblem looks brand new. There we go. Again, pistons that operate. And there's that V6, a 3.0 V6. Runs very nice, quiet, smooth. No turbocharging on this one, but still not a slouch. I believe I read that the horsepower rating is about 170 or 160 for the non-turbocharged V6. Certainly not a slouch, especially with the 5-speed transmission. Very clean, very presentable. I dare say this car is a future investment. All the Z's before it have gone up. Some of them are untouchable. The 240s and the 260s, you can barely touch them if you can find them for sale. 280s are getting that way too. I sold the 280 about 3 years ago. I think it's worth double what I sold it for then. It was only about 3 years ago. I can't imagine these cars will be too much different. The 300ZX. Just a beautiful presentation of a great car from a generation that we can never forget. The decade of decadence, the 1980s. So there you go, this 1986 Nissan 300ZX. Orphan Car Garage pricing on this car, drum roll, $14,900. $14,900. I can get this car delivered right to your front door with preferably enclosed transport for probably a lot less money than you think. We can refer you to a great bank for financing. It's quick and easy. I have a good relationship with them, so we can make that happen for you as well. Give me a call, 508-954-8090. Check this car out on my website, orphancargarage.com, and make sure to subscribe and like us here on YouTube. We always have really cool, interesting cars to profile for you, and most of them in a very affordable price range. Doesn't get much nicer than this one, folks. Until the next one, we'll see you down the road.